Why shouldn't you message an avoidant when the breakup finally hits them? There's nothing more tempting than finally hearing from someone who walked away from you. After all the silence, all the wondering, all the pain, suddenly they're back. Your phone lights up with their name, and every cell in your body wants to respond. But that moment, when they finally feel the weight of losing you, is exactly when you need to stay away. Have you ever been in this situation? Let me know in the comments what happened when you responded or didn't respond. When an avoidant finally feels the full weight of losing you, they're not operating from love or genuine change. They're operating from panic, and panic makes people do desperate things that have nothing to do with real transformation. Understanding this difference could save you from repeating the same painful cycle. The moment when it finally hits an avoidant doesn't happen immediately after the breakup. Right after ending things, they feel relief, freedom. They're convinced they made the right choice and that they're better off without relationship complications. But eventually, something shifts. The initial relief starts wearing off, and reality begins to set in. This isn't a gradual realization. It hits them hard. One day they're fine, and the next day they're staring at their phone wondering why you haven't tried to contact them. They expected you to chase them, to fight for the relationship, to prove that they mattered. When that doesn't happen, their entire emotional framework starts cracking. You'll know it's happened when their behavior changes dramatically. They start checking your social media obsessively, something they claimed they never cared about before. They ask mutual friends about you, trying to sound casual but failing miserably. They might start showing up at places they know you frequent. These aren't coincidences. They're calculated attempts to get back into your orbit. The messages start coming in different forms. They're testing the waters, trying to see if you'll respond, if there's still an opening they can slip through. But here's what's really happening in their mind during this phase. They're not missing you specifically. They're missing what you represented, the stability you provided, the emotional safety net you offered, the constant validation of knowing someone cared about them unconditionally. They're not reaching out because they've had some profound realization about love and relationships. They're reaching out because their life feels empty without the structure you provided. This is the most dangerous time to respond because they're operating from a place of emotional desperation, not genuine growth. When someone is panicking, they'll say anything to get back what they've lost. They'll make promises they can't keep, acknowledge problems they've never admitted to before, and paint a picture of a future that sounds exactly like what you always wanted to hear. But the moment you respond, the second you show them that you're still emotionally available, their panic subsides. The desperation disappears. They got confirmation that you're still there, still caring, still willing to engage, and once that safety net is back in place, all their old patterns return. The emotional distance, the mixed signals, the inability to commit fully. You've just reset the entire dynamic back to where it was before the breakup. Think about it logically. If complete loss of your presence wasn't enough to create lasting change in them, why would your response to their desperate outreach be any different? They're not contacting you from a place of strength and genuine transformation. They're contacting you from weakness and fear of loss. The cruel reality is that avoidants often need to lose something completely before they can truly appreciate its value. But even then, appreciation doesn't automatically translate into the ability to maintain a healthy relationship. They might genuinely feel regret about losing you, but regret isn't the same as having developed the emotional skills necessary to keep you. During this vulnerable phase, they'll often use language designed to pull at your heartstrings. These statements might even be true in the moment, but they're coming from a place of emotional crisis, not stable self-reflection. When you don't respond during this critical period, something powerful happens. They're forced to sit with the full weight of their choices, without the comfort of knowing you're still available. This is often the first time in their adult life they've had to face the real consequences of their emotional unavailability. No safety net, no backup plan, no guarantee that someone will always be there despite how they behave. Some avoidants will escalate their efforts when you don't respond. The casual messages might become more frequent or more emotionally charged. They might try different approaches. They're essentially throwing everything at the wall to see what sticks. This escalation is proof that you're doing the right thing by not responding. If they were truly changed and secure, they would respect your silence and focus on their own growth. The temptation to respond during this phase is enormous. Part of you might feel vindicated that they're finally reaching out. Another part might feel guilty for ignoring someone who seems to be in pain. You might think this is your chance to finally have the relationship you always wanted with them. But responding now would be like giving someone a painkiller when they need surgery. It provides temporary relief but prevents real healing. What you need to understand is that their current emotional state, the panic, the regret, the desperate need to reconnect, is exactly what they need to experience to have any chance of real growth. When you rescue them from these feelings by responding, you rob them of the opportunity to learn from the natural consequences of their actions. Instead of responding, this is the time to double down on your own life, continue building the relationships and pursuing the goals that fill your time and energy. Keep creating distance between who you were in that relationship and who you're becoming without it. Every day you don't respond is another day you're proving to yourself that you don't need their validation to feel whole. When that urge to respond hits, and it will hit hard, have a plan ready. Write out a list of reasons why you went no contact in the first place. Keep it somewhere you can access quickly when their message arrives. Call a friend who understands the situation instead of texting them back. Go for a walk, hit the gym, do something that reminds you of your strength and independence. Block their number if you have to. This isn't about being cruel, it's about protecting your progress. Delete their message without reading it fully if necessary. The content doesn't matter because it's coming from panic, not genuine change. Turn off read receipts so they can't see if you've opened their messages. Remove yourself from the temptation entirely. Most importantly, remember that your silence is not passive. It's the most active choice you can make. You're actively choosing your healing over their comfort. You're actively choosing growth over familiarity. You're actively choosing to break a cycle instead of enabling it. If an avoidant is truly committed to change, they'll do the work regardless of whether you're there to witness it or benefit from it. They'll seek therapy, examine their patterns, and develop healthier coping mechanisms because they recognize these changes are necessary for their own well-being, not just to win you back. The hard truth is that most avoidants who reach out during this panic phase aren't looking for a relationship. They're looking for relief from their discomfort. They want the pain of losing you to stop, but they don't want to do the deep work necessary to become someone capable of maintaining lasting intimacy. Your silence during their moment of realization isn't cruel, it's necessary. It's the kindest thing you can do for both of you. For them, it maintains the consequences they need to experience to have any chance of real growth. For you, it protects you from being used as an emotional band-aid for someone who isn't truly ready to change. When an avoidant finally feels the full impact of losing you, they're at their most persuasive and their most dangerous. They have nothing left to lose, so they'll pull out all the stops. But remember, someone reaching out from rock bottom isn't the same as someone who has climbed their way back up. Don't mistake their desperation for transformation. The most powerful thing you can do when an avoidant finally realizes what they've lost is to let them sit with that realization alone. Your silence speaks louder than any words could. It says you value yourself too much to be someone's backup plan, emotional safety net, or practice relationship while they figure themselves out. Thanks for watching. Have you experienced an avoidant reaching out during their panic phase? How did you handle it? Share your experience in the comments. If this helped you understand why silence is sometimes the strongest response, like and subscribe for more insights into attachment and relationships. See you in the next video.